now broadcaster and GP Dr. Renee Hodekamp is still here. And joining me is Rebecca Toomey, showbiz journalist, showbiz expert, columnist, and Bezzy of me. Rebecca, my first question is, what the hell is going on here? Explain the whole thing to me, because I don't understand. Rebel Wilson, actress, I've not seen her in a film since Bridesmaids, basically.
Okay.
What is she accusing Sacha Baron Cohen of?
Okay, so in her autobiography, which was released in the US at the beginning of this month, and it was released yesterday in the UK, she was initially going to do something about her dramatic weight loss journey. She lost 5 stone a couple of years ago. Now, in the book, she's made allegations against her former co-star, Sacha Baron Cohen, the, I think, quite fantastic British comedian who's had global success. Now, the film is The Brothers Grimsby. It was in 2016. She talks about an experience during the filming where she alleges she was sexually harassed by Cohen at that time, and that she filmed scenes she was very uncomfortable with and didn't essentially consent to. Now, he's denied all the claims. There's been lots of conversations. The problem is that all the claims are out there now because they were published in the US. And Sacha Baron Cohen's legal team and PR crisis team have been working in overdrive about this. So when the British version of the book came out yesterday, they have now not removed the chapter, not removed the books. The books is yet to be published in Australia, which is where Rebel Wilson is from. But in the UK, there's now black strips all over the text, like censorship of a part of the book. It feels, I'm not sure if really it is a victory because the claims are out there. Everybody knows what the claims are now. And it's almost drawn more attention to it. And I think Rebel Wilson has doubled down on her claims. Now, I'm not here to say whether it's true or not. I wasn't there. I think we have to be very careful about experience because what someone might deem as, you know, a joke, harmless, or something they consent to, someone else might not. And this is the grey area. So I think we just need to be very careful not to sort of say, she's a liar and he's innocent.
When I lived in the Middle East, we would get magazines and papers from Europe, and they'd be redacted. They'd have black marks all the way through them. I mean, pastry didn't exist then, but if there's a woman who's wearing a bikini, that'd have a black mark through.
Didn't just draw on a burqa or something?
No. On the magazines that we printed over there, we'd do that. We'd Photoshop clothing onto people. But no, not the ones that we imported across.
But there's nothing like a bit of controversy, is there? Draw some black lines through a book to make people rush out and buy it and see if they can hold it up to the light and see what it said.
Yeah, and I'm confused. The fact is, the book's been published in the US and everyone knows about the allegations. So if I go on the internet and search for it, I can find out exactly what she said about it.
You can.
So
what is readily available.
So what is the point in his lawyers? He's probably paid them a small fortune to have these black lines put in a book when everyone can already go and find out what's going on online.
It does feel a bit like, well, why? What was the point? And I think we have to remember as well in that UK, especially English and Welsh law, is very different when it comes to defamation as it is in the UK. And all my years as a showbiz journalist, I was always amazed at what the cover lines were on US magazines. You know, Diana back from the dead, resurrected, come to murder. These were, you know, absolutely sensational. Almost, you know, you're laughing because it is almost like comedy. Whereas in the UK, we still are upheld to such strong laws around defamation. And what it came to is that when you make claims like that, there were lawyers all over this book, but they legally would have to go to Sacha Baron Cohen's team for a right to reply and say, look, these are these defamatory accusations. Is there any statement you want to make? And as far as I understand, they were battling to get everything removed from the book, but because of US law, they weren't able to. But I think because he's probably paid so much for these lawyers and he wants to, you know, keep his reputation intact.
Well, that's my next question to you. What is his reputation like now after this? Has it been affected?
Well, I think what's interesting here is that lots of people came out in support of Sacha Baron Cohen. So people who were on the sets of that film, people who were there while it was being filmed, have all said, you know, there's so much evidence and factual, you know, things to prove that she, you know, knew what was going on. It wasn't as if she was coerced into something. But Rebels doubled down and said that's just not the case. So I think at the moment we need to see how it plays out. It's all very instantaneous at the moment. But I think a comedy character, if you like Borat, Ali G, The Brothers Grimsby, it's always been very offensive comedy. If you're a fan of Sacha Baron Cohen, I don't think this is going to bother you.
Right.
But I think if you're a fan of Rebel Wilson and you've read the book and she talks about her, you know, being a virgin at 35, her issue with her own sexuality, her own sexual identity and attractiveness in this book, I think you're going to suddenly question how certain women are treated in Hollywood, particularly maybe someone who's got more complex identity with their sexual attraction.
It's a good job there's nothing serious going on in the world, isn't it?
Bit of light showbiz to end the show, Dr. Renee. Rebel Wilson's book, Rebel Rising, sex sells, doesn't it? Bit of controversy.
Yeah.
I'm not saying whether her claims are true or not. I've no idea. But sex does sell. And she also claimed that she was invited to a sex party by a royal.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that we are trying to sell a book here, right?
Yes.
And a great thing for a book. And like I said, it was initially supposed to be my weight loss journey, which no one really wants to read, do they? We want to know the juicy details of Hollywood. And she claims a British royal. She said 20th or 50th in line to the throne.
20 or 50?
Which couldn't possibly be anyone in those positions at the moment, by the way, just before you do the math, because I was looking at it.
It's mostly females in that position.
Yes, and children. So what she was saying is that she was invited to this glitzy Hollywood bash, and there was a British royal who requested more girls there for a drug-fuelled orgy. Now, the reason she said she spoke out about this is not to sell any books and make loads more money.
Of course not.
The reason she spoke out was so that, and I do hope this is really, I'm not sure I'm cynical, but I hope this is the reason, that she doesn't want young people to be in a race to lose their virginity. And even though she was at this, great party with loads of beautiful people with a prince, she didn't want to lose her virginity in that moment, and she was 35. And she was trying to say to people, don't be in such a rush. Maybe don't wait to 35.
Maybe she left it a bit long.
Oh, I think each their own with these things. If she waited
She's been missing out.
But well, yes, I would say that. But if she wants to wait for someone,
true.
And she's in a happy relationship now and got a daughter, so maybe it was the right thing for her.
Maybe.
But again, with this book, all I've heard about it, so there was a sex party with a royal.
Yeah. Well, obviously that's all you're here because that's all you read.
She was going to have, she was sexually accused Sacha Baron Cohen of some sexual impropriety. Yeah. And she was a virgin until she was 35.
Yeah.
This book is not about her weight loss. Or if it is, the weight loss is not important to anyone. It's just these shenanigans instead.
Yeah, I think if you're a Rebel Wilson fan, it's kind of lifted the lid because I believe she played the same character in a lot of films, Bridesmaids, Pitch Perfect. And she talks about her own identity and being sort of a larger lady and how she played up to that. But also what's interesting is when you look at the Sacha Baron Cohen situation, she is talking about how she tried to make herself unattractive by overeating and how she felt about her father. There's claims in that about having a more abusive childhood and how much that impacted her. So actually, being in a more gentle approach to this might help some people who might have had a similar background, who might have a similar relationship with food. I hope it does. I can see your face saying, stop it, it's just celebrity pals. But I really do hope, I'm an optimist as well, that there's some good to come out of this book. She said the situation with Sacha Baron Cohen was before the Me Too movement. And maybe now she's in a different phase in her life or she's made enough money, she feels that she could speak out. And I think encouraging anyone to speak out, which Sacha Baron Cohen says he applauds anyone for speaking out, is a good thing.
Absolutely. Listen, Rebecca Toomey, thank you very much for coming to the studio today. And Dr. Renee Hodenkamp, my presenter friend for the day, for my last crosstalk. Thank you so much
for having me.
It's been a blast.